not long after I got married, which was just 3 weeks after I got married, I was diagnosed with cancer. It was such a challenging time in my life because at the time I wanted to also have a baby, start a family, but I think God had a different plan for me. And at that time I couldn't understand it. Of course, it's like a big news to receive. But I also felt, because I had started already my spiritual journey, like I would say 4 years before, and I felt like this was just an experience preparing me to all the knowledge that I had received. And what is the knowledge without practice, right? So I thought, let me now roll my sleeves and practice patience, practice acceptance, practice non-judgment, and so on and so forth. So it was like a big experience in my life that helped me practice what I've been learning, I guess.
Lina, welcome to the Epiphany Dialogues.
Zimmy, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much.
It's so lovely to see you. Like we were saying before we started recording, that we actually haven't met in real life, in person, for 3 years now. But because we follow each other on social media, and that kind of warps all the time and space and distance. Yes. Yeah. So it just feels like we have been connected, and every time we have communicated with each other, there has just been so much love. And I just wanted to start with that because I really, really appreciate your energy, the love that you bring so generously to every conversation. And so that's why I'm really looking forward to this one.
Thank you, Zimmy. My heart, you don't even know how happy I am to be here. And it's an honor. I've been following your podcast ever since you started. And to me, it looks like it seems like a dream come true to be here and having the conversations, to open our heart and share what we know. And it's like a catch up for us. So yeah, I'm so excited.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm going to just do your formal introduction now, and then we get right into it. My guest today is Lina Zoghaib. She holds a master's degree in psychology and is a certified holistic wellness practitioner, specializing in cancer rehabilitation and emotional healing. Her work bridges science and spirituality, offering integrative practices that support mental health, resilience, and self-discovery. Lina's approach is rooted in compassion and real-life experience, inspiring others to reconnect with themselves and live with presence and authenticity. She also offers transformative sound healing sessions for corporate companies and private events, creating spaces for relaxation, balance, and inner connection. Sounds amazing and beautiful, and so much for us to delve into.
Yes.
Let's start, if it's okay with you, 8 years ago when you got married, and what happened from there.
Okay, so when I got married in 2017. And to me, I'm going to speak for myself. To me, it was pure love story. I waited till my late 30s, and you know how it's like in Dubai when you live alone for a while, and you really
Yes.
have to connect with someone and start a family. And not long after I got married, which was just 3 weeks after I got married, I was diagnosed with cancer. It was such a challenging time in my life because at the time I wanted to also have a baby, start a family, but I think God had a different plan for me. And at that time I couldn't understand it. Of course, it's like a big news to receive. But I also felt, because I had started already my spiritual journey, like I would say 4 years before, and I felt like this was just an experience preparing me to all the knowledge that I had received. And what is the knowledge without practice, right? So I thought, let me now roll my sleeves and practice patience, practice acceptance, practice non-judgment, and so on and so forth. So it was like like a big experience in my life that helped me practice what I've been learning, I guess.
Gosh. I,
Yes.
I I know it's been a while and you have healed and practiced everything that you're talking about, especially, the practice of not being in control and being okay with that. That's like one of the hardest things. Um, but can I just ask you to indulge me a little bit and tell me how it felt in that moment, if you don't mind? I know when we talk about things that we've gone through, it kind of just becomes that story which we tell quite,
Yes.
in a grounded manner. But I would love to hear from you what happened in that moment from that diagnosis and what were the emotions?
First of all, the first thing that comes to a person's mind is denial. No, 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 it's not me, not
Yes.
now. No, 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 I don't have any family history there. And
Right.
through the journey of cancer, it's a long process before you get the results. And in that time, to me personally, it was the longest time ever because you are faced with your demons within. Everything inside surfaces to a level where there's no escape. You have to be there
Yes.
and stillness and wait for a result that may take 6 weeks. And I'm like, ah, you know?
True.
So it was a lot to take in. Plus I was at the time newlywed, alone with my husband here. My family was not. They live in Canada, at the time I chose to leave it to myself and him,
Right.
without involving family, because I'm like, what if the results are negative? I don't want to worry my mom. I don't want to worry my brothers and my dad and so on. So I
Sure.
kept it to myself. So that was
Oh
already,
gosh.
feelings were so massive. And third, I had the option to do further diagnosis in the UAE, but at the time I chose to go to AUB in Lebanon, which means I had to go to my in-laws at the time. That I didn't know much. Like when I got married, I met them a few times and that's it. So I
Yeah,
had to go stay in a foreign home, because to me it was foreign because I didn't know them so well.
of course.
So I had to stay with them, but God bless them. Like they were like a big support at this journey. Uh, but I couldn't sleep, and I couldn't sleep for as long as I had received the news, because I didn't know. I didn't know what to. But all along that time, though the emotions were massive, and thank God, Zimmy, thank God, I had the tools with me, and I knew that I'm overwhelmed. I knew there was something out of my control. We're going to come back to that point as well, because through my practice taught me that there's going to be so many moments in life we cannot control. So I started like finding my little pieces, my little steps of what can I control. Like, I was asked to go for a surgery. I've done a surgery. Is it in my control? Like I would ask myself, is it in my control? Yes, I have the choice. I would go. But then what's out of my control, I'm like, it's out of my control. How can I come back to my breath? How can I come back to the present of. So I journaled a lot. I was with my thoughts, I was with my
Wow.
feelings, and I didn't escape that. And I knew at the time, and thank God I had these tools, and I can definitely relate to people
Yes.
who sometimes go through these journeys where it's like so much when
Too
you don't
much.
have
Yeah.
so much support, like personal support. I'm not gonna start with the surroundings yet, because
Mm.
everything starts with self. So yeah, the emotions were huge, big, dark, but then I've learned through the very beginning to find the grace and find my baby steps through.
Oh, bless you. That is just so, I guess, inspiring to everyone. And, everyone does at some point or the other go through a situation that is similar in many ways, where the, ground is pulled from beneath your feet and you're just trying to see, like where the next grounding is and what happens during those moments before you hit the ground again is really, yes, that is what is in our control. The ground isn't in our control. That's what we learned at that point. So many things that we thought were in our control, we realized they are absolutely not. We were just lucky that they were working out for as long as they were. And we were under the illusion that we are in control. But yes, absolutely. You've hit it on the head. The breath, the connection, the holding space for yourself and holding grace for yourself while acknowledging that this anxiety is valid, that I don't want to just push it aside. Like, I am so impressed, like, seriously.
I'm with the self as well. I would say, like, I kept reminding myself, like, like in my brain, I kind of lay down all the options and then started to prep myself to the worst case scenario, you know. And then all along I kind of like my self-talk was, I talk to myself with kindness, and I'm like, I don't know, I've never was in this situation, or not I had like close family members or friends, so I was not acquainted to the actual topic, so that brought so much
Right.
fear as well. And then I said, I'm allowed to feel that way. I mean, it's foreign
Yes.
to me, but what's in it? Why am I feeling this way? How can I support myself, be more at ease while waiting for the results to come, you know?
Right. Gosh. And then what happened from there? You got
Uh,
the results and it was positive?
Diagnosis happened fine. I got the results and I was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, a stage 2. Not that I knew what it was, and I was like, "What? Not what?" I had to like research about it, and even when you research, it's like a whole world of unknown, uncertainty for
Yes.
me, and I'm like, okay, what is it that I was like quick in my response, which I think I felt like, okay, is there anything to do about it or not? And what are my options? Give me a few days, let me kind of get my thoughts together and then choose. So when I was given that, I decided to come back to the UAE and do the treatment here. And I thought at the time, I was like, you know, my husband was here. My safety, like
Yeah.
everything around is safe for me. So I chose to stay here, do the treatment here. And um, and at that time I was like in shifting jobs. So I went and I was in my second round of interview, and I even told the employer, listen, I'm diagnosed with cancer, but I choose to still work if that's okay with you. So I also spoke my truth and shared where I am.
Wow.
And they were very kind and say, yeah, so how can we support you along the journey? And treatment began the next day after Christmas, on the 26th of December, Boxing Day. Um, the beginning was difficult because, again, we don't know what to expect. We don't know how the body is going to receive the treatment. Um, but but my husband at the time, he was with me. He held my hand through it all, and I was like, okay, It's like you're jumping to the unknown, and this is where also the practice of meditation helped me become more of an observer to this journey rather a reactor, you know? I was like,
Right.
okay, let me today witness what's going on with my body. So I was more in tune of how the medicine felt in my body. I was in a foreign room, like I would look around and see, like just to be like more in the present moment.
Right.
And step by step, I mean, in no time, like after 6 months of treatment, uh, and just before finishing the treatment, actually, I got to learn that there is a woman in the US. Her name is Tari Prinster. She helps cancer patients in their rehabilitation through the practice of yoga and meditation. And my yoga teacher at the time, Nia, told me, Lina, why don't you like check her course and see what she does? Because I mean, you're in the experience itself, and maybe that could also help you. So during the treatment, I was curious to like study, like learn more about Tari. What does she do and how she does it? So I emailed her, and she was very welcoming, and she offered me to start the course. So I was receiving a treatment and studying at the same time.
Wow.
I finished the treatment, and by the end of the treatments, like so much, like you're drained physically, mentally. I mean, there's too much happening in the changes in the body. Like, of course, I've lost my hair, my lashes, my eyebrows, like
Yeah.
having in touch within myself as a woman that it was taken away. It wasn't a choice of mine.
Right.
But you know what? I still looked at myself in the mirror, and I'm like, you know what? It's a choice. It's either I'm going to stand in front of that mirror and call myself names, or I am going to show up to the most beautiful self. And if you're aware, in chemotherapy, like mostly the nails become very, very dark. I started painting my nails. Um, uh, I kind of hacked my brain to look and feel pretty, though I was depleted. So
Right.
I would style, like I got a wig and I would style it. And I would wear my makeup and look shiny. And like, if you see me outside, you would never tell that this person had cancer. And it wasn't out of, I'm being embarrassed or anything. I was just looking at myself at moments where I felt exhausted. I just wanted a push from myself,
Yeah.
and I wasn't waiting for people to validate me just out of whatever people are going through as well with you on that journey, because people want to comfort you, whatever. I wanted to give that to myself.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And so during that time, like I looked to my best and I was exercising whenever I could. I was teaching whenever I could. And whenever it felt no for me, I would cancel. I would be on the sofa. If it felt okay to watch a movie, I would. If not, I won't. So it was like a mindful journey for me back to the self. And
Right.
it's like I held my own hand through it all. Yeah. And I always love to give it to myself, because oftentimes we forget that we are our own cheerleaders. Um, so once the journey ended with the chemotherapy and everything, it was time to go to New York and for the further studies. So I went and I got certified to work with the Tari Priester and her course. It's called the Y4C, Yoga for Cancer Patients. So when I came back to Dubai, we offered rehabilitation classes for people who are going through the journey of cancer, and to their
Wow.
family members as well, creating a community. And that happened at Nilaya House. And it was a 6-week course. Oh my God, Zimmy, I cannot tell you. Sometime, like now we were talking about your podcast, how you and Nick started and then off on your own. Like I was kind of let to lead groups of people who had trusted me in this journey just because I showed up first to myself. And
Yes.
people love that. Wow. Um,
No,
but something magical
absolutely.
happened. Are
Yeah.
you against all odds of science? When I was told I cannot conceive because my cycle was not happening. And after a year of finishing the treatment, my husband at the time started asking, was like, so is it safe now to have a baby? I'm like, I don't know. And then, as a woman, when your man asks you for a baby and you're like, I don't know. I am not sure if I will be able to do that now with everything that I've gone through. So when
Yeah.
I checked with the gynecologist, she said, I'm sorry, Lina, like you don't have a cycle. Not sure what to tell you. Just do your thing. And then I'm sorry, like there's nothing from my side I could do. I said, you know what? I will do all in my ability. So I would go home, Zimi. It's crazy. Like I would meditate with my hand on my tummy, visualize as a baby girl, and visualize traits about this human being that I don't know, for a long time I always wanted to have a baby girl. And
Wow.
I was meditating like this until my hand was way far away from my belly. And 3 weeks later, after my visit to the doctor, uh, I did the pregnancy test and it came positive. And I'm like, no, just no blood test. I'm not
Wow.
sure what was happening. And then pregnancy happened. It was such a beautiful journey for me. It was such a magical journey, Zimmy. Like, I cannot tell you. I was in my flow, and again, step by step, mindful with everything I was going through as well. And then at the same time, I was still getting my checkups with the oncologist.
Yeah.
Uh, and at the time, like, it was end of 2019, and I had, like, I was almost for birth time, so I had to travel to Canada to stay close to my mom. And then 2020 happened.
Oh my God. Yes.
Lockdown,
Wow.
lockdown. We were broke at the time, and but again, it felt like I was forced. I was forced to be there. I was forced to stay there. Um, and Leia happened in the most beautiful natural birth. Uh, but then the sad part is that at the time hospitals were not allowing visitors, so I had to go to the one part. My husband was with me, but then the rest I had to navigate everything on my own, which it felt like so difficult, so challenging, because I'm new to my body as a mom as well. I'm like, I would buzz the nurses, like, the baby's crying. She's like, just give her milk. I'm like, "Huh?"
Oh gosh.
Um, so from that time, we came back to the UAE after 3 months of lockdown in Canada. And then, of course, the, the postpartum as well, like, had a toll on me. I would say for me, it was big when I stopped breastfeeding. At one
Right.
point, I was like on cloud nine. Wow, such a beautiful journey. But I was like, when I stopped
Mm-hmm.
breastfeeding, all the hormones changed.
Of
Oh my,
course.
it was an insane discovery also to the self as a woman. And it was a lot. It was a lot that I had faced it even stronger than the cancer journey. I was like, oh my God, I don't know if I want to be alive. I don't know why I made it through cancer. Like, all these negative
Oh,
thoughts, like, surfaced to my brain. But I've navigated this. And I'm like, because I've read and I was curious to see, like, am I the only one? And I promise you, no matter how much we read, Zimi, when we face a certain experience, is not to that same magnitude of you
very
experience it
true.
yourself.
Yes.
So I've also gave myself the grace of, listen, you're new. It's not like I've always had children in this life, I would say, but I mean, let
Yes.
me experience that. Let me go through that darkness until slowly things would come back to normal. Not even like, so 18 months after birth, I think I received the most shocking news that even worse than any other experience that I had gone through. And this is when my husband came to me and he said he wants a way out and he's not happy. And I wasn't understanding, happy? Why? I thought
Oh,
everything is okay. I'm like, oh my God. To me, my world shattered. It was the shatter of my own world because, of course, my mind had fabricated a story around how motherhood should be, my life with my partner, my future, like, you know.
of
And
course.
I'm thinking, I've waited a long time to be married. I've waited a long time to have a partner. And oh my God, I think that was the hardest part. Hardest part. And now I'm okay to talk about it.
Yeah.
Before, I was hoping people would not ask me, Lina, how are you? Because I was not okay. You would say, how are you? I would just tear. I cannot say I'm well. I don't want to lie because I'm not okay. And if I say I'm not well, I'm like, who wants to take that? you know?
Mm.
So it took me a
Gosh,
while.
I'm so sorry. I'll just interrupt you here because that is so much that happened in such a short time, one after the other, and you were going through it, flowing through it to the best of your capabilities, and you did do so well. But this must have been like so just absolutely shocking. And
Yeah. It
It
was
must have,
emotionally
yeah,
exhausting.
broken your heart.
You have to wake up to your child. You have to be present for your child, but also you have to deal with the loss, with being abandoned, with. But then I'll come back to this later because I think this has been the most powerful journey in my life.
Of course.
And then through it, I met you. And I had some epiphany also moments with you, which is, I'm gonna like share with you. But
Yes,
yeah,
please.
it was such a blessing. So n- like you said, it was short time in everything came together. And in between, I had a massive financial loss with the investments in Lebanon, as you're aware, with the financial crisis that happened there. And in between, I had one of my closest brother, he had a stroke. So I had to deal with all that at the same time. I told myself, I am gonna unleash the the giant within me. I had like used my home as a space of release.
Right.
Um, I came back to myself every day. When I came home and my bedroom was empty, my home felt dull and I had no purpose. I think I was just getting by. I think like a zombie, not knowing what I'm doing. Just I have to do what I do to just get this child to eat and live. And I don't know, just,
Yeah.
you know. Um, but I said, Lina, yes, but hack the mind. This is when I signed up to my master's degree. And I said, if I give my brain something to be focused on, it will take some of that pain and then I put it somewhere else. Because again, is it in my control or not? I was it before the separation and in that process, like we've done, I think we've waited a whole year before we decided this is it. Like I've tried
Right.
everything in my being to help him, but I realized it's not about me. It's either he wants it for himself or I cannot force anybody to do anything. So it was back to that question. Is it in my control or out of my control? And to me at that time, it was out of my control. I've done everything in my capability to hold that marriage together.
Yes.
And when it came to an end, I had to say, and I wrote him a letter, and I cannot believe. Sometimes I'm in my meditation, I was like, Lina, what were you thinking? Like, how did you write him a letter? And I thanked him for all the beautiful years, for all the beautiful memories and beautiful experiences. And of course, I was writing the letter with in tears, but I also felt like this person brought so much to my life, let alone he gave me a child, you know?
Yes, of course. But that's
So the
really,
rest,
honestly, very big of you, Lina. Again, we all, I mean, not all, but many of us managed to do that in retrospect once we have taken the time to heal. But for you to be able to do that as you were going along with so many things, like you said, that you were handling and bearing, it's a real testament to the soul part of you that you were connecting to and listening to and allowing that to guide you, because our little mind that you were very well, doing very well, trying to keep it busy and, a little bit distracted as well. But it can't handle so much, right? It has to come from something bigger within us, this reservoir that was, made available for you at that point. And seeing how your husband was definitely there to be part of it, to support it in the way that needed to be. But then the way the path was unfolding further, I don't think he was aligned with that level of, beauty that is about to come out, and he played his part. And I'm
yes,
sure again, your soul recognized the part that he played and you were able to thank him for that. But wow, this is just so touching, and a lesson for all of us to do our best to,
yes,
yeah, to be in touch with your higher support, your wisdom, your love, your grace, And I mean, surely you felt all the feelings, like you said, but yet you were able to do the actions that came from processing and regulating those feelings, being centered, and then acting from that
Yeah.
balanced, harmonious place. So that's beautiful.
And when the time is like Zimi, and I definitely resonate with people when they cannot connect to themselves. And this is
Yes.
where help
Yes.
is available. So for me, I've done everything in my capability, but it felt like, oh my God, I need help. And this is when I connected with you. I connected with Steph. I connected with Jade. I connected with Jim, the guy in US who I would wake up at 2 a.m. in the morning to do session till 7 a.m. in the morning. And I had such a big
Wow.
epiphany moment with him. Oh my God, that led me back to my path in a way. And I'm saying like, because all of us, we go through moments that we cannot sometimes handle on our own, or sometimes we give it our best, but then we feel like we've hit rock bottom, or we've hit a wall. We cannot even go through that anymore. So this
Yes.
is where I want to tell everyone that you are not alone, and there's so much of help. And one of our sessions together with you, Zimmy, uh, we had 3 sessions together. In one of them, you made me go back. Okay, so we're doing the hypnotherapy, and then you made me go back in my being to face all my women ancestors, from my mom to my grandma to her, like to all the women.
Yes.
And I feel I was like, that moment, I was the only woman in my lineage of family standing and say, I am enough, and I refuse to be in unhappy relationship. I talked to my mom, and I saw all my lineage in front and said, if you've accepted that to yourself, I will not accept, because I'm worth more. And the person who wants to be with me, he has to see that exactly. Otherwise, thank you, I have that for myself. And I think in one of your sessions, that epiphany moment that really happened also for me was like, and it made me see my worth even more.
Hi, everyone. We just wanted to take a quick moment to thank you for being here with us at the Epiphany Dialogues, where curiosity meets consciousness. If you're enjoying this episode, please hit the like button, follow, subscribe, and share with like-minded people.
And you're also welcome to join our conversation. If you have an epiphany to share, please leave us a comment or email us. Details are in the description below. And with that, back to the episode.
Step by
Yes.
step, breath
And
by
you are
breath.
releasing that for, from generations prior to
Yeah,
you, that feeling of I am not enough and I have to do whatever I can to belong, to be loved, to be wanted, to be needed, and to sacrifice everything related to my essence in order to serve someone else's. And the fact that you owned that, I can tell you, I do this work a lot, and they are waiting for us to do that. They are cheering us on. They are so relieved when it's done, because if time is not linear, it's folded on top of itself. So past, present, future is all happening at the same time. Imagine the release and the relief of the struggle for generations that is now put to rest, and the gift that you've given your daughter going
Iman.
forward.
Yes.
Yes.
And moving past, so degree is finished. Now the degree is
Yes.
finished, and I'm left again to face my darkness, to face these big question mark. The feelings are big, massive. Everything from fear to I think fear was the strongest in me, the strongest, like the fear
Of course.
of, how can I do this on my own with her? But sometime again, work-wise, let's say work-wise, we had a system. I would go to work. There's a system there, but now I chose to work for myself. I want to have that free time to be, and I'm not the same person I used to be before. I'm a mom, and I
Yes.
refuse to miss on these precious days. So I wanted a flexibility in my time. So like at some time I couldn't work even, Zimmy. I couldn't. And the way it felt to me, as if a whole building fell on me, crushed me down to the ground, and I couldn't breathe. So for me, but I was still alive. So for me, every step to being alive felt like a win. I was like, I
Yes.
would tell myself, oh, you made it yesterday. You're here. Wow, that's a big thing. So I wasn't looking on what to go next. I was just focusing on putting one foot in front of the other, just making the footsteps. And even till today, we just said it's been 3 years. We haven't met.
Yes.
And for me, 3 years later, I feel so firm in my being. Yes, but I'm still navigating a lot.
Of course.
A lot, but it got easier, and it will get easier as if I compare it to where I started 3 years ago till today. I'm wearing red. Look at my lipstick. Look at my nails. Like I was always in that dark place. I wouldn't want to, but then slowly the color starts to find me. Slowly the life begins to find me. Slowly I get to learn how to navigate my body, a new dating as well. Like I'm putting myself into the dating life, and why not?
Nice.
Rediscovering myself as a woman, learning the new side of me, And I think in any podcast you hear to, or any kind of people who had gone through darkness, everyone says the same. Without it, we cannot strive and get to like the blossom of our life. And I trust that, because I finally feel that now my feet are on the ground.
Yes.
Before my neck was out, like now my whole body, and now it's like when I go through moments of uncertainty, of fear, I tell myself, Lina, in the span of 5-6 years, everything felt like everything crushed in my reality.
Yes.
So me finding the baby steps is the best. Leaning on a community of support, asking for help.
Yes.
Oh my God. It's not like a solo journey. Not a solo journey, you lose. We're human beings. We were not born to be alone. We're social
Completely
creatures.
agree.
We have interactions. So yeah, I refuse that. I lean into people. I ask for help, and I think it's a sign of courage to
Yes.
knock to and say, please help me. I need you now in this situation. How? This is my ability. I cannot pass, and even in my work, I'm happy to ask personal on every level of my being, just put myself out there.
Yeah, that is one of the hardest things for most people to do. And yet it is so uplifting and so fulfilling once you get over that embarrassment or ego or pride or hurdle, whatever the reasons are. We have
Yeah.
many, and I've been through that journey where it was never even a consideration. Like it wasn't like I was rejecting it. It wasn't even an option for me.
Yeah.
Just because of my background and my life, how it has been in my childhood. And once I actually started, I realized, my God, it's so beautiful, because I have always been the person kind of being there for people, helping, supporting, and, being that giver. And I never realized that it can go both ways. Like it just wasn't, like I said, an option in my mind. And once it did become one, the relationships deepened, because they weren't just kind of one-sided in that sense, it became more equal, more balanced, more harmonious, and deeper, like where they also felt empowered and good about what they can offer. And I realized that I don't have to do things alone. Even if it's not for help, sometimes I want company, and that's
Right.
okay, right? I mean, it's not just for hard moments. Sometimes it's to share the joy. It's to
Or
share some chores or errands, right? It's like, I think I just invented a new word, charons. Uh,
why not?
Why not, right? So yeah, no, I think so many points that you're bringing up here are very important reminders for people to recognize, everything that you chose in those hard moments turns out that it is very wise. It is very good advice. And I'm so glad you were able to tap into that within yourself and through others' help and support and through community and therapy and everything that you did, which it shows because you are one of the most authentic people that I see on social media. And even when you send me like a voice note, after years of us not communicating since our sessions, when you heard the podcast, the way that you expressed your support and encouragement and your love was, I can tell from that this is a person who is more whole within themselves than many of us. And we're all on the path, so there's no better or worse, but it's just so heartening to receive that kind of communication from someone because you're just like, oh my God, like this person is so in touch with the love within themselves and how they're talking to themselves is coming out and how they're talking to you. So I really, really appreciate that. And I want to really move forward and talk about the yoga, the sound healing, what you're doing now, the cancer rehabilitation as well. How did that come about? When did you stop the corporate job and start working for yourself?
Well, I like life pushed me to stop, I think, at the moment. Though I had doubts sometimes, like, working for yourself is scary because again, I had no system. I'm learning to find my way as well. And I've always done what I've done along with a corporate job.
Right.
I've never done it on a full-time basis, but now I tell my mind, you're a full-time mom, and my priority is the well-being of my baby. So along the process, I said, you've tapped into a beautiful word you said, because you said the mind is given a choice. Every day life is a choice, Zimmy. I mean, you cannot go to your work and then dread yourself to work. And no, it's your choice. And then
Yes.
even in that moment, even and recognize you're just there to earn, even for the financial part of it, just without the dreading part of it. Like, why am I being a victim of that? Just be grateful that you have a job that gives you the financial stability that can give you the life that you wish to live, rather.
Yes.
So for me, it's like when I came to a point of choosing, I said, I choose presence over security. And
Right.
I know what this means. It's going to require more of my being, but I'm like, I want to navigate it with curiosity. So now it's beautiful because initially I've started back in the day, sharing yoga and meditation in the beautiful outdoors of the UAE. That shifted after rehabilitation of cancer patients. After baby is born, I took a small break. And when I came back, I would be offering, like, mainly my work is private with private clients on supporting them and guiding them through like yoga journey, like to kind of be more in depth of and in tune with their body.
Right.
Not just the body, like the whole alignment with the mind as well, and hold them accountable of their own uh, their own behaviors as well. I'm like, you want this result, you want this is what we need to work on to achieve that. And along the process as well, I started sound healing unfolded for me. I've always done sound along my sessions because sound was
Right.
always part of my journey. But then it started unfolding more even the past few years. And now I offer as well private sessions, sound healing. And then I'm collaborating with a friend of mine who does like lymphatic drainage for the face. So what we do is she does the face massage for an hour, and then rather than playing music in the background, we play live sound. So
Wow.
I feel like this is a beautiful experience because it's all about connecting you back to the self, into that deep relaxation mode. And at the same time, I have not, like, I didn't, it's where I'm working toward as well. You know, with supporting cancer patients, it's been 7 years of my life. I've been of service, and I've just been going to people's homes, supporting on rehabilitation, and every person had different challenges. And it was always through word of mouth. But during my master's degree, I dived a bit deeper into my thesis to study more about rehabilitation of cancer patients around the practice of yoga and meditation. And I was curious to see how is this practice helping the well-being of cancer
Yeah.
globally. But then I went even a little bit more deeper to understand how is it in the UAE, because at the time I did my treatment, there was no psychological support. And even it wasn't
Yeah.
some like, just come do the treatment and leave. And then I'm like,
Mm.
this is not okay. This is not okay. Like, thank God I had the tools, but for someone else who doesn't, like, they just come take the treatment and go, and then they go home to their mind alone. It's like you
Yes.
send someone in a dark forest without food, without anything. And to me, it was not okay. So in my studies, I wanted to know more about the status in the UAE, and God bless them, like in the country, like they're always up to date, and it's becoming like a place where even the surrounding countries come for treatment here, where back in the
Yes.
days, people used to leave Dubai, the UAE to
True.
go get a treatment outside. So what I decided to do, and I wanted to bridge the gap, is I'm like, okay, so how can I be a voice in someone? Because I've lived the experience myself. So I was like, okay, so what is needed is a voice, someone to help whoever is going through the journey, whether at the beginning, in the middle, at the end of it, because
Yes.
there's different kind of emotion a person can go through. So I've created an online program, which till now I'm still working on it. I've put for now just a 7-day program. I haven't
Okay.
advertised it just yet. I'm just testing it. But the plan is to give 3 months, 6 months of support, and not only recordings of meditation, but also physical support of rehabilitation. And along with the program, it will come the coaching, the listening, the me being present. And then hopefully I was hoping that it's going to see the light this year, but I think I've juggled so many things at once. So I choose
Yes.
to get some part of it for next year. So it's all this and unfolding beautifully into my path as well.
Wow, this is so, needed and so valuable. And it's going to be such a sacred service and space that you provide. It's so beautiful. Bless you for
Amen.
that. And if there's anything that I can support you with when it comes to that, please let me know. I'm more than happy to be there in whatever way that you might feel that would help. And yeah, we need this. We need a lot of it. So if you ever need, like have you're one person. So if you need more people to support you, like you said, don't hesitate to ask. We're all here in different capacities, and I think a lot of us would love to help for
Yeah.
sure. But I wish you so much fulfillment on this, and for the people that you work with to receive the healing that would help them amplify this.
I'm gonna share
What is
something
that?
special to
Yes.
you. This is
Yeah.
also a special project that I've been working on for my daughter. I thought
Wow.
also to have fun along the motherhood journey and to create content together. So I've started also a YouTube channel for her. It's all about, it's educational. It's educational and fun at the same time. Like we learn new recipes, we play, we have fun, and that brings closeness. And then I'm starting a series of coloring books and
Wow.
stories. Um, so yeah, and the whole idea is I want to teach her from a very young age about finding her own way in life, that she can always rely on her creativity to earn, to be financially free, and have fun all along the process. Life comes hard at once, but it could also be fun and playful and colorful. And so, yeah, this has been
Yes.
on my projects as
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. You have been busy. And yes, I wish you so much vitality and so much joy. Everything that you create, everything helps in so many ways because it's just coming from this space in your heart that really is, so open to healing and helping others heal. So whatever comes from you will be healing and helpful in some way, and just so beautiful. It's Is there anything else that you would like to add before we close?
um I would like to add, I'm grateful for this gift of life. Sometimes we we as we as human, we get caught up in our own web. Zimi, it's not easy. It's not easy. I just hope and wish that every person who is listening today will find their greatness within them, um, and the courage to listen to their inner voice, because that inner voice is loud, but like you said before, we're always distracted. There's so much out there that we lose sense of that connection inside, and we have tremendous amount of love, even to the people who hurt us, even to the people we hurt unconsciously or indirectly. But
Yes.
as long as we come back to ourselves and say, I forgive myself, and I didn't know, or even I knew I'm hurt or I'm doing something not good or whatever, but I still choose to
Yes.
show up differently. I still choose to show up with integrity. I still choose to life over death when I'm alive. There's nothing
Yes.
worse than being in a body, in a mind where you feel dead inside, really. Life is such a beautiful gift to all of us. And the more we are facing these dark spaces within, we'll be surprised how we can find happiness and joy even in the little moments, really.
Yes, thank you. So beautifully said. And yes, there is a lot to be gained from our shadow. The parts that we avoid, the parts that we think that there's nothing there because we're focused on, the shiny, the light stuff. But yes, there's a lot of gifts within us. Our shadows hold the gifts, they hold the spark that makes us more whole. So basically, if you're not looking at that or afraid to or avoiding it or not, aware of it, that's a partial existence that you are living, and that's perfectly great. If it's working out fine, it's all good, right? But if there is some pain, if there are things that go wrong where life is actually inviting you to
Yes.
be more through breakthroughs, which sometimes look like breakdowns, then be open to that, be willing, be aware, know that you have the superpowers within you to be able to rise through that to the other side where, like I have this theory that there are three kinds of lives that we live. And they're not necessarily in isolation of themselves, but sometimes, so we start with the survival. We're surviving. Whatever life is kind of giving us, or whatever life is, we're just kind of going through that and, accepting. And it's simple. It's a little more simple because you feel like there's not much agency that we have, and it's okay. Like, that's just how life is. It's life, that's doing it. Then we go through this, outward spiral of evolution and come into that space of striving, where sometimes we get pushed, or like I said, break down to break through to that place where we say, why is this happening for me rather than it's happening to me? In that first, space, we say, okay, perhaps this is happening for me. So let me lean into this and see what I can find within myself. So we get into striving, and yeah, it's thrilling. It's all the stories that we hear a lot these days about how we rose from something that was challenging and difficult, and we found ourselves. I always try to add that there is another level as well that we also need to become aware of, so that we can invite that experience into our life, which is the thriving, right? Because a lot of people sometimes just get stuck in the striving as well, where they constantly feel like they need more challenges to grow more, because that's how it happened, right? So it's like, I'm a fighter. I learned so much. That was the biggest blessing in my life, which is all true. But then the mind starts creating this correlation that every time we need to grow or to evolve or to be bigger, there has to be a challenge that almost breaks us, but then it doesn't, right? So it's great. Again, there's no judgment between these stages of, life or growth, but I just have to, it's my responsibility to keep reminding people that there is another level, which is about thriving, where once in a while, you can also happen to life. You can also happen for life, and that's when we find enough gifts in us that we're willing to share with the world, like you are. And so in your own way, you are happening now to life as well. It has become a dance, whereas way before it was life just leading and us following and saying, well, that's just how it is. So there is a lot of wisdom in surrender and flow and all of that, but it doesn't end at a certain level. You can also surrender to greatness. You can also surrender and flow into more expansiveness of yourself, and recognize that life actually wants to dance with us. It doesn't always want to, be the leader, or for you to just follow. It likes when you do something different. It likes when you show up and live it fully. It wants us to live. And yeah, so I just, sorry, I had to, bring this in because I feel that it's very important where we are on a collective level for us to keep our eye on that and know that we will go through all of these, and we'll go back and forth because, like I said, it's a dance. You don't necessarily just finish the survival part and never see it again. You go through times where you're surviving again. But also, please remember the thriving part. It's our birthright. It's our responsibility to tap into it and to share it with others.
Guard it, yes, of course.
Yes.
Thank you for the reminder. It's so beautiful. Yes, 100%.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me the space to say this. Finally, Lina, before we end, we ask all our guests a question. Now, you have been listening to season 1, but it's not the same question because we're in season 2 now. So, yes. So imagine your very expansive, actualized future self, and imagine that she can speak to you right now. What would you hope that she says to you?
I'm so glad that you didn't give up and you've made it all the way. Welcome.
Oh, bless. Yes. Yeah, she's so proud of you.
Yes.
All right, beautiful. Well, thank you so much for your time, for your inspiring story and everything that you are and what you're becoming. It's a joy to follow you. And of course, all your details will be in the show notes so that our audience can start following you or connect with you if there's anything that they need. And really, I'm so grateful to have met you and to continue to be in touch with you and in your orbit. Thank you.
Me too, Zimmy, and I can't wait to more of your episodes. I enjoy them a lot, more than what you think. Do you like your voice is with me in the car, and I love like this is me me time, and I love it. Thank you so much for
That's very
feeling
kind
brave
of
and
you.
stepping out to share your wisdom. And it's a beautiful reminder to all of us, and I love that. Thank you so much for having me with you,
Thank
and
you.
good luck for the rest of the journey.
Yes, and you too, babe. Have a lovely journey ahead, and I'm here if you need anything that I can
And I'm here
offer.
as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We'll speak soon.
Lots of love.
You too.